Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Ropin Ranch channel. I'm Red Lilac 78, or as most of you guys know me is Red. I am the creator of ropinranch.com, which is an online web game where you can breed and train horses, goats, cattle, and poultry. And soon we will be adding multiple different species into the game, and we would love to see you there. On top of that, I love doing streams here where I play Sims, Minecraft, Star Stable, and lots of others. So thank you again for visiting my channel, and let's jump into the video for the day. Hello, everybody. Good evening from me. Today we are going to have a very interesting video. I've been wanting to do this video for a hot second, but we were during the Valentine's event, and I really don't like doing videos during events because I want the game to look normal during the time of you guys watching the videos, and it just makes it a lot easier. You guys might hear me munching and crunching because I am eating my teriyaki chicken dumpling bowl right now, and then after that I have a snack of some green beans, so you might hear some snacking. But today we are going to be running a simulation of I'm just starting from scratch. I'm just getting started from wanting to get into GP racing. So, to get started, what is GP? So, I'm going to go ahead and go over here to the horse rankings. The horse rankings is the best place that I can recommend that you guys start to kind of figure out what's going on. The first page here that it loads into is going to be the main, top thing. So this is all horses. Right now it's only this breed, but if there was competing breeds, like maybe there was a breed that was at 805, it would show both breeds, but this is going to be showing the top horses in the game in all general. So you can use all these tabs over here to see the different breeds. We'll go over to paints, we'll go to Andalusians, let's check out Morgans, Morabs, Quarabs, Hispanos. All of these different breeds are breeds that you can do a GP race for. So for example, you will see that I was on the top of the ranking for paint horses, and I just recently got somebody over me at the 520 here, which is amazing. I wanted to have somebody to compete with. So paint horses are at 520. We've got our Andalusians, which is a very high competitive market, at 773. We've currently got our, this is Morgans. Highest is 485. Now remember that genetic potential for the game starts at 350. That being said, 452 is only 100 points more than what it would start at, or at a base level value. What genetic potential does is you have two horses together. So for example, if you have a horse that is 350 and another horse that's 350, their baby is going to be a 350. It's the average of the baby. I'm going to show you this an example of one of my horses here. This is Kyla. So we're going to look at Kyla's family tree, and I'm going to show you how it increases for a second, just so you guys can kind of see that on a tree. So here you can see that both of her parents were a 17. So 517 plus 517 divided by 2 is 517. But Max is fully trained, and Kira is fully trained. So because they're both fully trained, she got a point from the dad, and she got a point from the mother, so she became a 519. If her dad was fully trained and her mom was not, she'd only get 1 point. But since both parents are fully trained, she gets 2. So generationally, you can technically do a situation where you're like, okay, well, I'm going to take the top GP of this horse and the top GP of this horse, combine them together and divide by 2 plus 2. That is going to be our basic formula. So I have started out by creating a lovely chart here. And this is going to be completely random. We're going to figure out what breed are we going to work on. What breed am I completely starting out with so that you guys can see exactly from the beginning what would someone do to get a better horse. So, spin, spin, spin. And I chose horses that didn't have, that is, oh, okay. Now I love the Arabian. Do I want to do Arabian? The only reason I'm second guessing it right now is they're not technically a purebred breed. I'm going to remove them and redo it real quick. We're doing Quarabs. Quarabs are a 50-50. We can go ahead and do a Quarab, and I will show you how. So we'll start out by doing where I'm on Tony's account so that I had a good amount of money, kind of some information. You obviously do not need to have this much money. We are going to start out with getting an Arabian horse. Let's say I have no horses whatsoever. I want an Arabian horse. We're going to start with this dark bay female. And his barn's name is Da Barn. That's funny. Oh my gosh, and he named this his best friend's name. That's also hilarious. And technically, so he has a male quarter horse. So since this is going to be a crossbred breed that has no anything going for it, you could start from scratch where you say, okay, I'm going to breed a 350 to a 350 and climb the ranking from the very beginning. Or we could use our girly girl and we are going to start from her. So let's move her into a pasture because I prefer using a pasture whenever I do anything. Foundation horses start at 200. And the way that 2 years old. And the way that I always name my horses is I do their genetic potential and then I give them a name. So we're going to name her Era. No. Era. Like an era. Because she's an Arabian. Yeah. Totally chill. We can either hand train her or we can send her to the trainer. He's got 35 timers, which is amazing. We're going to send her to the trainer. And we're going to bring her home with some timers. So she should be returning home here. While we're doing that, we're letting her return home. We're going to get a Coggins test and a vaccination done. And now I am going to go to a public covering. So quarter, because we're doing a Quarab. I keep thinking that there's a something prickly in my jacket, and there's not. Now, this is the top horse at 437. This is Bean. 10,000. So, right off the top, we're going to go ahead and do an estimation. So, 350 plus 437 divided by 2 is 393.5. With that 0.5, normally it rounds up, so it would be a 394. But we can go ahead and see what that does give us. Why is my chair being squeaky? we'll go ahead and age her up here. Until she has her baby. So we had a little baby boy. So I'm just going to let it be full for now so that we can actually see what it is in a second. And then we're going to check out that genetic potential by $3.95. And it did get a Quarab. So $3.95. We're going to name him Sal. The next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and pull up the ranking for Quarabs. I want to see what the highest ranking is. Nope, that's not a Quarab. There we go. Watch me already be top of the ranking just by doing that. So we're at 425 for Quarabs. So we're going to go ahead and age up Sal. Always complete your training or your taming as a newborn. That way, when they become an adult, you're not dealing with fighting them if they are a stallion, because you're going to be breeding with them. And then always do the halter training and all of that, because the more that you do of that, the more points they get. Intelligence points can be seen right here, and it won't be seen unless you refresh a page. We have 60. And the intelligence points is how fast they train. So the faster that they train, the less time they have to be at the trainer, if you do send them to the trainer. And also the faster that they will train if you do them by hand. Why is my chair being squeaky? Yeah, I know. I double-clicked that by accident. Also, most people ask me, how do I get everything done and train 9 hours a day? When they wake up, immediately train them. They're going to drop down to 8. Then take care of them. This will mean that they have more than the 25% energy required for them to wake up with a full amount of energy the next day. So that's how you can do a training session and still be able to have the most energy on wake up the next day. So what we're going to do, just because I'm going to cheat a little bit, is I'm going to go to the horseshoe market and flip little Sal. To be a Sally. Okay. And then Sally needs to be trained, because if she's not going to gain those 2 GP margins. So we're going to send her to the trainer. And we're going to go back to the pasture to get her. And a horse must be Coggins tested before they breed. And we're going to go ahead and do public stallions again. Now this time, I'm going to look for a Quarab. I want to see what our top is inside of stud coverings. 404. Not bad at all. So if we do this, this will raise from 395 plus 404 divided by 2 plus 2 because they're both fully trained. That'll get us a 402. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. I always like doing these kind of tutorial videos where I feel like I can help you guys like plan how you want to move forward. And I think that that's important on the game. Now, if we had kept Sal at a boy, I probably would have just bred Era again until I got a girl so that I could have bred that girl to another Quarab and do that whole process again. Now, what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to move Era out of this pasture because she's no longer what I'm actually like breeding for. So she's going to go out of this pasture. We're going to move her like back to the barn where his barn stuff is. And then I'm going to... Is 405 even on the ranking? Ooh, that was a nice neck pop. It is. It's just not very high. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the pasture. We can close her out. And we're going to take a look at our foal. We got a 401. So this is going to be 401 Grumpy. Now, this next step is perfectly kind of like up to you. The way that I like to do it is have the same genetic potential for all of my horses. That way it's an easy additive. And I just know that I'm going up by 2. For example, if I have a 401 and a 401, my next is 403. A 403 and a 403, my next is 405. Because I'm just adding 2 to that number. Whereas if I'm doing like a 401 and a 402, then I'm having to check that average. Or if it's a 402 and a 405, I'm having to check that average. So I like having babies that are the same. So the way that I do that is in the beginning, I do some inbreeding. So we're going to go ahead and breed Sally. Again, I needed, you're Sally now. We're going to breed Sally again. And if you want, when we, like, let me look at the public coverings real quick before I say it. But if you want, I was going to say, as long as the genetic potential is the same of 2 horses on like the breeding chart, you could do more than one like stud. But since this is a different GP than this, we want the baby to be the same GP. So I'm going to go ahead and breed this again. Why do I feel like something is poking me in my jacket? Nothing is here. I've got my tea. It's still steeping. And I've also got my crunchy green beans and ranch. Okay, so we got a female. We know she's going to be the same GP as her brother. That 401. And I'm going to name her Green Bean. Because that's cute. And we're going to go ahead and tame her up. Okay. So let me show you what we have so far. If you go the route of not wanting to inbreed, for example, you are personally completely against it, you would then have to go and breed another mare from your 2 combos, breed to a completely separate stallion, and take that baby and breed it to the baby that we have here. In this instance, we're going to breed these 2 together after they are fully trained. The penalty for breeding 2 horses together that are inbred is -2 GP. So that being said, instead of it being 401 plus 401 plus 2, it would be the 401 plus 401 plus 2 minus 2, which would give us a 401 baby. I'm hoping everybody's following because I'm not on live to see you guys go, huh? So, that being said, what you can do, and what I'm going to do in this instant, is I want to get 4 babies out of this pairing. So I'm going to go breed her again and get 2 more babies. And I'll show you why. Same stallion. Nope. This is still hot tea. Mr. Bunny, thank you for giving me lovely babies. Okay, we got a male. Gonna age it off. Stop. Gonna go grab the mom again. Gonna grab the same stallion again. And we've got Bunny here. I'm not sure why my audio from this song is not picking up. Now it is. It was not picking up before and it just sounded, or it was just quiet. We're hoping for a girl here. Perfect. Wow, the RNG gods love me today. Your horse doesn't have enough energy to sleep. Okay. So now, let me show you our lineup. We've got 2 females and 2 males. I'm going to go ahead and name these 2 females. But now what we can do is 401 Crunch. And 401 Skittles. We can now breed, technically, any of these 4 together to create a pairing. So if I breed Green Bean and Grumpy, or if I breed Green Bean and Crunch, or Skittles and Crunch, or, you know, whichever way we want to do it, I can breed 2 horses out of each pairing. And it will give me a 401 baby, which is a step back. But I prefer to have the GP the same on all my horses. So what we're going to do is we're going to age all of these guys up, make sure all of these guys are trained. And this is when it comes handy for you guys having the trainer and you having the timers. You can get 1 timer a day for completing the objectives in the leveling up section, which is under the blue star. Every time you complete an objective, you will get a timer, and you can use those timers for a training area. So even if you are like, hey, I don't want to play Ropin Ranch today, but if you log on and you quickly do those, you can accumulate those timers, and then you can use them for things like later on when you decide to actually, you know, do some breeding. And breeding does take out a lot of money. It's definitely money to stay at the top of the ranking. So you're going to notice that, you know, your moons are going to decrease, your money is going to decrease, the amount of food that you're going through is obviously going to decrease because you've got a lot of mouths to feed. So the best thing that I can suggest for making money while you're working on a breeding program is going to be having a barn dedicated for horses that you're racing, and just periodically going in there and running those horses and making sure that those horses are actually competing and winning you moons and winning you coins, and that will help increase everything you're going through on the game. So I'm going to pair Green Bean and Grumpy because Crunch is also the same color as Green Bean, and I don't want that color coming out. So we're going to go ahead and just breed and I'll show you an example here. Obviously, you know, this video can be a multi-parter where I can come back to these breedings, but I also want to get a good amount of information through for you guys in this one video. So we're going to send Green Bean to the trainer as an instant. But in the other aspect, you would want to technically have all of your horses done at the trainer, just so you could get all of them trained and ready for this breeding program. But in this instance, we're just going to do Green Bean and Grumpy. So we're going to pick my stallion now. I'm at 4 moons. You're going to get the notification that these horses are related. You're going to breed anyways. I need to purchase coins. Wait, that's not what I wanted to do. I need to purchase moons. Okay. So Green Bean is now pregnant. Her baby is going to be a 401. And we're going to call her Meow. We're going to just age this baby up to fully grown, or to next stage so I can get it off of the mom. Just for now. Okay. And we're going to go back and go ahead and grab her again and breed her to Grumpy again. So, sorry. I decided to put the food in my mouth just now. These two are going to have 2 babies. And these two are going to have 2 babies. You're wishing for a male and a female out of these 2. And a male out of female out of these 2. Meow is out of these 2 right now. We're going to go ahead and grab, see if we can breed one more time and get a male. You're going to get the notification again. These 2 horses are related. We are well aware. And not that I want you guys to feel better about the fact that you are, if you choose to do this breeding program, but a lot of breeding programs all started with a little bit of inbreeding. Getting that line started, and then eventually them going, oh, maybe we can, like, you know, drift away. But otherwise, there wouldn't be a breed. You can't start a new breed without having a little bit of inbreeding going on. The Frisian is insanely inbred. You know, and they're one of the #1 horse breeds that everybody loves. We did not get a male, but I'm going to go ahead and do a gender flip coin just to symbolize if we had. This isn't the horseshoe market that I just finished uploading last night. Why is that not showing the new horseshoe market? Okay. So, I'm going to say this slowly for everybody that's a little slow with genetics. Meow and Fox are the babies of Green Bean and Grumpy. They will not be related to the babies of Crunch and Skittles. Meow and Fox will be cousins to Crunch and Skittles babies, which is not technically classified as inbreeding. So, what we'll do is once Crunch and Skittles have babies, which we can go ahead and age up, we still have a little bit of time on this video, Crunch and Skittles will have their babies, and their babies will then breed back to Meow and Fox, and that'll start climbing our GP. The combination of Meow, Fox, and these two's babies would be a 403. Let me see if I can get that done for you guys. I try to keep my videos at about 45 minutes long. I also try to give you as much information as I can within my videos. So, you know, people can play them in the background, listen to them, try to understand the tutorials that I'm giving, try to give the pointers I'm giving without having to be fully watching the screen the entire time. But I also know that a lot of people have zero patience and cannot watch a video for that long and cannot tolerate my annoying voice for that long. So, you know, that's that. We're gonna keep going. Okay, I'm gonna send Crunch to the horse trainer. And we're gonna start on Skittles. I have an old video here on my YouTube, which definitely can still be used with that procedure as well for genetic breeding, but I think that it works better with this one for me now. The old one definitely was a lot more chaotic in my opinion, and that was kind of just me trying to come up with a breeding program that worked for the way the gameplay works here on Ropin Ranch. And now that I have found this one, this is the breeding program that I do, where I always breed 2 babies from my pairs, male and female, and then I use that pair that I breed to move up. I'm going to take Crunch to the vet, Skittles to the vet, Coggins test, Coggins test. We're going to use our timers. What is that lag for? I have no idea what that lag was for. And I don't know why I never noticed this bug, but I'm going to fix it on my next whole situation. If you use timers on the horse below the horse above, you can only go up by 1 every time on the one above. I don't know why that is, but since I'm redoing all of the pages, I figured I would just fix that when I get to that page. Okay. I'm just going to submit a genetic testing because I know it goes back to the horse. And then let's breed Skittles to Crunch. My green beans are very good. They're very crunchy. I wish that I had some Skittles. So this is going to be a 401. Yep. She's a little derpy. She's a little inbred. That's okay. We still love her. But she is in no way related to Meow and whatever the other one was. Hold on, I forget that one's name already. fox. So when Juniper breeds with fox, they will have a baby that's a 403. I'm going to go ahead and end my video there because I cannot do anything else here that will take up less time than me just starting a new video. But I will go ahead and do a part 2 and show you some generations of me increasing so that you guys can see how that works. But at least I got you this first part. This is how I get started on starting a brand new horse from scratch. Started off with a horse in the foundation shop, and I'm moving my way up. So if you like videos like this, or if you want me to do other tutorials or other breeds or other stuff like that, feel free to leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Trying to get to 500 followers by the end of February here. And I hope that you guys have a lovely rest of your evening, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And I'm going to go finish my dinner. So, bye!